Well, Stan, you want to roll it off?
So we starting off right now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
roll.
sure.
We
All
already
right,
good.
we on the roll. All right, hey man, we back. You know the vibes. Stay the Course podcast with me, Stanley, and then you know my guy right here, Big Toe. That's TOW, not TOE, as usual.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? We got a special guest, man. It's very special. Oh man, I love this man right here.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? One of the best coaches in the area, in the nation, whatever you want to call it. He the best. Overseas, no seas. He the best coach in the area. You know, whatever, man. We got Capel with us, man.
Yeah.
Evangel University. Coach, how we doing?
I'm doing
How
good.
we doing?
Thanks for having me
No.
on.
Thanks for
we
doing
gotta give you the proper intro. You ready?
For sure.
We gotta give him the accolades here. All right, so
Yeah.
here we go. Check this out. So, Coach Bert Capel has enjoyed success first 3 seasons. Well, not even 3. Now you're in year 5, right?
Yeah.
Wow, goodness gracious, year 5 right now. So in his 5 seasons, he's been to the tournament 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Yep, went to the tournament 3 times. Got a berth in the Elite 8 in one of those years as well. I believe you have, is it 3 or 4 20-win seasons right now you're at?
Yeah, 3.
3, yeah, look at that.
Just
See?
starting 5, so it's
See, yeah, 3 20-win seasons already taking over the program, doing great. Also, check this out, alum at Evangel as well in 2002, helped them win the national championship. They were 35-1, and then the year after? I did my homework on this one. The year after, I believe you guys made it to the Sweet 16 one of those years too as well?
no, we lost in the conference championship both years.
That's right. All right, there it is. Yes. So,
I
man,
wish we would have. That'd been nice.
I know, right? And man, just happy to have Bert on the pod with us, man. So please, you guys, without further ado, Bert Capel once again on the pod. So let's do it, man. We can jump into this.
Yeah,
Man.
wow, that's a heck of an introduction.
Come on, Coach. You need it.
Yeah. Oh, and I have one more part too. Here it is. Another part is this. I don't know if you know this. So in your first year in 2019, 2020, you led Evangel to a 10-win turnaround, which was the best improvement in 14 years. Did you know that one?
I did not.
We got another fact on him. Yes, baby.
I was just helping then, though.
No. Hey,
In
listen.
19, I was just helping you guys.
It didn't matter. You were still on board.
Hey, here's a fun fact for Stan. We used to work together here at Evangel. And
Yeah.
so that is, and then I met Toe. We were doing some open gym in our gym. I was trying to figure out who we had on the team, and here comes this guy with a camera. I'm like,
Over
who's this
there
guy?
in the sauna.
I just looked like a spy. And I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, man, I'm just getting some film. I'm going to put it on the social media. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you want to help us this year? He's like, yeah, sure. And there it was right there. So
Wow.
you've been helping us ever since.
Ever since,
Yeah.
I'm year 5 too. I'm going to my super senior season with the men's team. So
We're in this
it's
together.
been a blessing. It's
Yeah.
been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
Man.
Coach,
So-
how we feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the closer the season starts to get, the more anxious I'll start to get a little. But I don't know. We're in a good spot. We got a good group coming back, and so we'll kind of see what happens from there.
Man, so talk to us. Tell us about your coaching journey to from where you started from and then to where you are now, and why Evangel.
Yeah, man, a lot of good questions there. So I went to school here in 2000 and played basketball and baseball here. That's one of the reasons why
I
I
did
decided
not
to come
know
to
that.
Evangel, because they let me play both. So came here, ended up graduating in 05, and was helping Coach Jenkins as an assistant, just like a volunteer. I ended up being a GA. I took grad classes here, but I really wanted to coach Division I. That was kind of my thing I wanted to do, and I kind of hustled. I tried to make connections and do something, and eventually landed at Florida State.
Yep.
So took off there in 2009, started out as a graduate assistant, and then worked my way up to what they call a recruiting assistant. Then really wanted to get back. At those days, now it's different. Like in the last couple of years, it's changed where those ops, those type of jobs, you can be an assistant now. There's like 6 or 7 of them, but back then that wasn't the case. You only had 1 head coach and 3 assistants, and I wanted to get on the floor. So I ended up taking a JUCO job as an assistant in Texas for a year, and then the guy that I worked with at Florida State got the head job at Stetson, which is the ASUN, Florida Gulf Coast, Lipscomb, those schools. And he asked me to come over there, and so I was there for 6 years with him. It was the first team when we were there ever to make the ASUN championship game. We lost to Florida Gulf Coast in overtime, so that was a tough one back when they were pretty good.
They made the tournament that year too, didn't they?
They made the tournament that year, but they made that Sweet 16 run. they would have made it before that, you know.
Wow.
And so they were just getting everybody, but
Yeah.
it was good. So, but after in 2019, the head coach had got let go, unfortunately, and so I was just looking for a place to land. I had a couple opportunities, but didn't really like them, just kind of being particular. And so my wife's from here, and we had a chance to come here and stay for free in a house and hang out. And when we kind of made that decision, I called Coach Jenkins. I said, "Hey, do you mind if I help you? I just plan on being there a year. We just, can I help you out? You have to pay me nothing."
Really?
Which is where I ran into Stan. Yeah.
I thought you was only
Look at
planning on being here a year, coach.
Yeah,
What could have
2019.
happened?
So I want to get back. I want to get back in doing it. And so, but I was there a year, and then COVID hit. And so I got stuck here. I say stuck. I got here.
Come on.
At the time, I thought I was stuck.
That's
but I
what
got stuck here
we
for-
call it, stuck in Springfield. That's what we used to call it when I was here.
Everyone was stuck.
COVID, God set us down. So yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so after the second year, I told Coach Jenkins that the plan was to, a couple other opportunities I had, and then he had mentioned that he was going to retire, and so then we just, I don't know, maybe we should try this, and so, but I love Evangel. I've always loved Evangel. It's a great school. Always had good athletics, academics, and so, we just kind of made the decision to stay here after they had offered it to me, and now I'm stuck here again no. I've been here for starting my 5th year now, and it's been good. You can see the arena behind us. The Evangel's doing a lot of good things on campus, and so I'm glad to be a part of it.
That's awesome.
And right now we are in the presidential suite right now up here.
Yeah.
So this is an amazing view, amazing campus
Overseeing
right
it.
now.
Come on, glass windows. Now
Right.
protected too.
And I'll say this real quick to speak on what Coach is talking about when he first came in here aboard, when Coach Jay welcomed on staff with us. So it was me, Bert, Coach Jay, and Coach Gauze. And I would say one of the first things that I noticed about you when you first got on the campus in the very first practice was your attention to detail, like how detailed you were on. So as you guys know, Coach Jay, he runs the motion offense, so we knew nothing was going to change with the motion. We knew we were going to run motion, making little tweaks here and there. But the first thing I seen you take control of was like, man, like you really, really put your stamp on it was on the defensive end. Like seeing how hard you made them work on their rotations, how you expected everyone to be where they were supposed to be. And one of the things I learned from you was I was like, man, this dude is sharp. I definitely got to sit back because I was more of offensive minded. But I believe from watching you and learning from you is like you helped me balance. I was like, man, hold on, wait a minute. You got to pay attention to the defense. Offense is cool, but the defense. So just to see how your attention to detail was and to see where our defense, because I know before you got on there, I'm pretty sure we've had some teams maybe score 75 and 80 on us, but then I know immediately that next year we were holding teams down to 61 and 64 and 62 points. I'm like, yeah, man, Bert is sharp at this one. So just to see you and add in your attitude and just your aggressiveness on the defensive end, just seeing how sharp you made it, I was like, man, like I really got a lot to learn now at this level. Like just seeing, when you can tell the difference, like because you've been around Division I, so it's like. And you coach at Division I level, and just to see how your intensity was, it's like, man, I think the players learned your intensity, but it also learns like, man, like, hey, we got to make sure we're where we need to be every time. So,
well, like you said, I think the motion offense is what we did when I was here, and it was Coach Jenkins' staple, and so there was that part he established, and we talked about his office. He said, do you want to do more of the defense? Because I didn't want to mess up. I wasn't coming here to mess anything up. I just wanted to help anything that I could. And he's like, well, why don't you do some of the defensive stuff? And that's kind of where it started. And I figured, hey, he let me run with it a little bit, and it was good. But sometimes it's always good to get just another voice out there, and I think that was probably part of it, along with you and Coach Gauze and Coach Jenkins. It was a good combination of coaches out there, so we made it work.
So, I got 2 questions for you, Coach. Going back early to what I already kind of talked about already. I was thinking about it. I guess we all have that moment where it clicked to where you wanted to be a coach. What was that like for you early on?
Yeah, my dad was a coach. He was my baseball coach in high school, and I guess in the back of my head, I had always thought, well, I guess if nothing works out, I can always coach. But I really wanted to play. That was my thing. Even after college, I was just concentrating on playing, and had an opportunity to play in the ABA in St. Louis after I graduated, and then the program fell apart. And so after that, I was kind of like, why am I even trying to do this anymore. Let's get into coaching now. You know, let's not wait around. And so that's when I started helping Coach Jenkins and started doing that and just kind of fell in love with it. But I knew I just didn't want to stay at Evangel forever. I wanted to do something else. And, you know, I enjoy high levels of basketball and coaching and trying to get better. And so I didn't necessarily want to stay here. I had nothing to do with Evangel. I just, you know, I was interested in, you know, going up as high as I could and just kind of worked out. And I think after that experience, it was like, you know, this is something I really, really want to do. I mean, I've already moved in that direction. I enjoy it. It's another way to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of stuck from there. So probably no light bulb, but just knowing I wanted to, but probably after helping Coach Jenkins here and then you know, going on at Florida State, I knew it was something because there, you know, they don't mess around.
Nope.
You know, it's like if you're doing it, it's intense. And so I enjoyed that part.
Would you say when you were a player, you kind of were like almost like a player's coach on the floor? Would you say you kind of already seen those things inside of you already to like when it was almost like you said a no brainer that I could be a coach?
You know, I felt like I knew the game of basketball. I feel like I really developed learning how to win when I was here. You know, in high school, our team was just okay, and I'm very competitive and I want to win. But you know, it's good to want to win, but it's also important to know how to win. And I don't know if I knew how to win. I was just trying to play and compete, play as hard as I can, you know, lay it all out there. And then when I got to Evangel, there was a really good group of older guys here. Obviously, you know, we made a good run there. My sophomore year, won a championship. And I felt like I learned a lot from them. And then when it was my turn as a junior and senior, I felt like I had a better job of being figured out. I understood the game more. I knew what I needed to win. All the little stuff, like you mentioned, that matter. And I think that just kind of led into the coaching part. The more you coach, and every coach will say this, that you wish you knew then what you knew now.
My
right?
God.
Now,
Right.
I guess that's life in general.
Facts.
But you're now I'm watching film all the time. I'm listening to people talk all the time. I'm looking how we could do things different and get better. Whereas a player, you don't necessarily do that, right? You get your shots up, you get your individual workout, but you're not doing that. And so that part is made me understand the game better, just that. And then you combine it with my experience as a player. I know a lot of times I coach with how I like to have been coached and how coaches are and what I felt like. And so I try to be like that. I want to push guys to be better. Sometimes it's getting on them pretty hard. Sometimes it's just pulling them aside and talking to them, you know. But I feel like I want the best out of everybody, both as a person and as a basketball player. And I feel like when you're headed in that direction, people buy in more and we go from there.
Man, you hit a key. Sorry, Stan. I feel like I'm
man,
ball
you
hogger
good.
for a little bit. You hit a key point, though, because I'm early in my coaching career as a football coach. And what I can remember back, my year one is a little close, you know, obviously a couple of years ago. I remember going into it thinking I had to be like this drill sergeant and be something I'm not, right? And you hit a key point on, I'm going to just be me and coach the way I wanted to be coached. And obviously some things you got to give and take. Like sometimes you may have to lose it a little bit. But I was a guy, and it was funny, like even when I was here, like Coach Darnell, he was a drill sergeant, right? But the more coaches stay with me, they realize like that's not the way he receives information.
Yeah.
And right, that's the biggest part of things. I didn't realize too is like coaches, we are like, you almost got to be a master educator.
Sure.
And so that's that. Talk about being able to like balance that and understand. Like I just got to be me and everything else to happen, you know, the way it's supposed to.
I mean, I think that drill sergeant comes from, you know, you got to establish what you're going to do, right?
Sure.
This is what it is. And I think that's 100% correct. But I don't think you necessarily have to do it by yelling. As long as the guys that you're coaching know that you don't put up with it, you could be the nicest guy in the world and say, listen, buddy, get on the line. You're just going to have to run. You know, you got to yell at him. Eventually, he's going to get it. He knows you're not playing around. So I think it's whatever, as long as your players know what the standards are and that if they violate it, that there's going to be some type of punishment or, you know, repercussion or something. If you don't do what we're getting everyone to do, then and everyone goes about that different way. You're right. If you start doing things that maybe is not your personality, then it comes across maybe as fake or not genuine, you know. But as long as you're being yourself, and there are times, like you said, you got to yell, you got to do something, you got to suspend somebody, you got to run somebody, but it's because you're trying to get them to do what they're supposed to do, not because you don't like them. And I think if players understand it, because you know how we were as players, you know, all both of you guys played, where sometimes, man, Coach, he just doesn't like me. He hate me. He yell at me. He likes so-and-so.
Every little thing I do.
Exactly. He picking on me. He only picking on me. And I remember that as a player, and I felt the same way too at times. And so as a coach, I try to be, aware of those things where maybe I am getting on so much, even though they deserve it, but maybe I say something after practice or call in my office or, say some things like, man, hey, you doing good today, man? You keep playing. So at least they realize that you are getting on to them, but they know you care about them too, because that get lost sometimes when you're on.
I heard this the other day, and I thought it was really good. It was something similar of structure can't be built without relationships.
Sure.
And I think that's very important. What you bring up is like, in the moment, right, when we're in practice, I ain't got time to stop with your little Johnny and have a cuddling moment, right? But I got to get at you, but I love you enough to say, hey, come see me in my office right after this for 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love that. Last question I got in this aspect, in this state, I'll pass the ball. I'm sorry. I want to talk about, you were obviously like an NAIA guy, right? And you had aspirations of coaching at a higher level. I feel like sometimes if you didn't play at that high level, it's harder to get those jobs. How did you kind of navigate that scene to be able to get to Florida State and all those bigger jobs?
That's tough.
Yeah, I've had people ask me in the past, how do I coach Division I? I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could say, hey, do these 3, 4, 5 things and it'll happen out. And sometimes you do all what you can, it doesn't work out. And sometimes you just get lucky. That's just part of it. But I do think in general, and not that coaching Division I makes you any better than somebody else. I think that's the thing too, where even players at the NAI level, they're Division I kids. They've just chosen for whatever reason to play at this level. So, I do think there are some Division I coaches that are very good, which is why they've been there and successful. But there's also very successful coaches at every other level, or they wouldn't be as good as they are. And Coach Jenkins is a good example. You don't win that 100%. Many games and not know what you're doing. But yeah, I think the first thing, you just kind of have to hustle. You got to do what you got to do, call as many people, talk, communicate. I was working basketball camps at other places, Colorado, Florida State. Then you try to develop relationships. You'll realize, and this probably goes to any business, but especially at coaching, and I guess every coach is different, but I would say generally speaking, no one's going to hire someone they don't know, or that someone they know doesn't know them. You know what I mean? So I can't be like, hey, man, here's my resume, hire me. And they look at it, and they get 100 of those, So you got to make relationships. You got to talk to people. You got to hustle. You got to work hard. But you got to do the right thing. And I think when you do that, I may not know Stan if I'm hiring him, but I know Stan. I'm going to talk to you, and you're like, man, he for real. You're going to like him, and then I'll give you a chance. So making relationships, just doing your best. And then when you get the opportunity, I think that's the biggest thing. You have to take advantage of it. Yes. You take it for granted. You don't work as hard as you should. All of a sudden, you may get one chance at it. If you don't take advantage of it, it may not be there later. And so, especially in the coaching world, people get hired and fired so fast now. You just got to work as hard as you can, and the opportunity you have, take advantage of it, because you don't want it to pass you by. And if you do, you'll get a chance. If not, then maybe not. But it is a tough business, and people want to do it, and it's fun. I mean, there's some really good people in it, and there's some not so good people in it. But the business needs some really good people for sure.
So
man, and you segue us into a really, really good point. You brought up Coach J. So next question is this, because I know I was blessed to be on staff with Coach J for a few years. I know you were blessed to play for him and be on staff with him. How is it for you taking over for such a legend in Coach J and for what he's done? I know even just for me, just seeing how one of the things I've seen Coach J, I believe one of Coach J's best abilities was the fact that he was able to assimilate people on staff with him and allow them to work in them to work in their area where they were specified in, and let them work their skill on. And just to see how he just did all that. But then also too, I remember the little stuff with just going on the road trips, and he makes his chocolate chip cookies for us.
Yeah, I don't know that I've worked for another coach that's done that since then.
Like just seeing how great of a person he was, and seeing how he affected, and man, just everything he's done for the program. And for you just coming into that right there, just taking over, is like, how is that, just stepping in a place and just taking a program and just keep going?
I mean, it was intimidating at first, and I think I felt like my approach was, I just don't want to mess this up. You know what I mean? He had done such a good job. I mean, he was Evangel's name. I mean, you associate the two. He had been here for so long for the majority of the Evangel's program, that I just wanted to come in. I felt like I just wanted to keep it going. Didn't want to mess it up. And I ended up doing a lot of the things that he did, as a coach, with the motion offense and, the way we do some of the things in the background, team-oriented stuff. But I felt like it was just, I just wanted to keep that going. And naturally, since it was early on in my coaching and my playing career, I liked a lot of the stuff he did, and I find myself doing the same thing. So it wasn't a big change, once I took it. It wasn't much to change, just little things that were probably more my personality or things I like better. But, you know, it was just one to keep it going. And, you know, we felt like we've done that. You know, he passed away last year, which is a tough deal. But you talk about supportive. He was always supportive. He'd come to the games. His family still comes to the games. And, you know, I appreciate them, and I appreciate the relationships we have with them. And, you know, it's been good. But he was a good coach for sure.
Oh, yes. No, I agree with you 100%. So, actually, listening, so we get into what we love to talk about is here. So, going into each season as a coach, without obviously giving away your recipe and how you do certain things, how do you prepare for each season to get the guys ready to go? Is there something that you do, or how do you prepare for a season before the season starts? Like, you give us some.
Yeah, you know, after the season, it's such a long year, basketball is. You just take a break, and we give the guys a break. This year was a little different, disappointing, because we had not made the national tournament, and I just find myself watching all the games, and then I'd be mad, and then I'd be upset, and then I'd be looking forward to next year, and then I'd get mad again. You know,
competitive.
I was just going through all those emotions at one time. But, you know, once the summer hits, you start thinking, right? We were recruiting. That's the biggest thing, is you got to get the kids in that you want. And once we felt like we got the kids in that we needed to that fit and was going to help us be successful, then it's like you start trying to put the pieces together. How's this going to work? You know, if how many do we have? How many can play? What positions? What do we need to do at certain aspects of the game? And then as August hits and you're starting to get ready, I would say, you know, usually with summer camps in the summer and then vacation and my kids playing sports, August is like that downtime when it hits, and that's usually when I'm kind of like, all right. You know, I'm always thinking
that's when you step into gears in August.
Yeah, you start writing stuff down, right? You start thinking what you want to do, start game planning, and because you know they're about to show up at school in a few weeks, and then once you get in, it's off and running. So, you know, I try to have all that organized usually when August starts, and then kind of organized, because once they get there, it doesn't slow down. I mean, you think you got all this time in the world, and it like
they say, you know, you're on the court for practice one.
That's exactly right. You know, football's going, volleyball's going, soccer, right? They get there and they're off running. You're like, oh, we got time. We're just starting practice, and then like 3 weeks later, you're practicing, and then another 3 weeks you're scrimmaging, and
media day. And before you know it, you know what I'm saying, in a real game. Yeah, I love that. Let's talk about. Obviously, you get to do this with your brother Jackson.
Yeah,
I think that's. I think that's really cool.
Yep.
I guess one, you can just start off how it is to be able to coach with your brother. Obviously, he was an amazing player.
Good question.
Yeah, he was an amazing player at Evangel as well. I was talking down, so Stan, you missed it the other day. I got to watch them hoop the other day at the Proving Grounds.
He can still play.
Yeah, and I seen it. Like, it's funny watching. I ain't gonna call you old head. I'm an old head too. So it's funny watching us old heads get after it, because you can tell it's all jokes and games, but you can see that little like edge come out. Like, I'll be dang if I let you get a little too much off. You know what I'm saying? Like, coach would be like easy up on defense. Somebody would try to make a move. Like, hold on, like, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Okay, like, but just talk about that process of being able to balance that out with with your brother here.
Yeah. You know, we've always been good friends. And when I was coaching here right after I graduated, he ended up coming here to school. He played here. And I
leading scorer history, right?
Yeah, leading scorer in Evangel history. I feel like I talked him into coming. He had some other schools, but I'm like, I'm here coaching. My sister was in town because she played here too, volleyball, and she was in town working. And I said, why don't you just come down? And he ended up doing it. So he was there, and I got to coach him for all 4 years. And so, when I left to go to Florida State, he had left to play overseas. That's where he played professionally. And I knew I wanted to coach. He was worried about playing, but I think at the end of the day, he knew when it was over, he'd probably end up coaching too. So we always would joke, hey, when we're done, what if we coach together? That'd be kind of cool. And then when the Evangel job came open and I had the opportunity to do it, it was like a no-brainer. He had just finished playing. I think he was 2 or 3 years out of his career, and he was coaching at a couple other places, NAI and D2 in Florida at the time. And he played here. Obviously, he's an alum. And so just coming back, it just seemed like the right thing, the right fit. But it's fun. I mean, like I said, we've got a good relationship. Our whole family does, even with our sister. And she's not here. She's back in Cleveland. But just to be able to see him and hang out every day, because there was like a 10-year period where we didn't. He was overseas. I was in Florida. And we'd see each other maybe in the summers when he came back. So just getting to hang out with him every day and seeing him grow. I mean, he's obviously a good coach as well.
Yeah.
And, the good thing about coaching is you want people you can trust. That's always the hardest thing, because you could hire these people, but if you gotta watch your back and not sure what you can say and do, it makes the job even hard. But him, the total trust is there, and so I know we got each other's back, and it helps the coaching when you know that you can trust the guy you're working with.
And I wanted to allude to that too because it's only you. And I know Stan has been away for a couple years now. I feel like it's just been you and him.
Yeah.
I think because y'all relationship is so well, you don't feel that urge to go get another coach.
Sure.
Like y'all already kind of can see things. Y'all see it together. You're like, okay,
absolutely.
Oh, let me just jump in and just say this right now. Listen, when I was on staff with him, I'm just going to say this right now. I got to give Jackson his props. Sharp, offensive mind. Like one of the things that I saw that he added into, I believe I could speak on is we had a couple out of bounds plays and stuff. I seen him within maybe 1 or 2 practices add in a couple more actions to it and turned it into something else. I'm like, yeah, this is a good fit. He's sharp because it's good. Obviously, Bert is going to focus on the defensive end, make sure everything's sharp on the defensive end. But to see where Jackson just like slid right in, just found his role, he knew exactly what to kind of add in going from right there. Like, do you kind of like pass a little bit of offense over to him when you see him just kind of just do certain things? It's like, man, that's just sharp, dude.
Well, the good thing is, like philosophical wise, we're both like the same thing. We both got our different twist on offensive or defensive stuff, but generally we're big motion guys. We like moving, we like giving guys trust, and helping them make decisions. And so it's easy. So when we talk about stuff, a lot of times he'll just take the offense and run with it and help, and then I'll just take the defense. So that way we can both concentrate on those two things. But I mean, as far as coaching, Stan was here because we got the job. Jackson came. And it goes back to that trust thing. I knew Stan for a couple of years. We could trust. He was a good coach. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. Come join us and help us out. And then obviously Stan moved on and had some other things he did a good job of. And it was like, do we want to try to replace him? But I didn't want to bring in someone that I didn't know or didn't trust. The position didn't have a ton of money with it, so you're going to have to find someone who probably is working other jobs and stuff, which is fine. But I feel like, Jackson and I trusted each other, and we feel like we can handle it right now. And if we feel like we need someone in there and there's a good fit, we'll do it for sure. But right now, it's just kind of been us. And
real quick with the way, because I was blessed to be able to watch Jackson play in college. I was blessed to watch him play a few games here and to see the way he scores and to shoot the ball. Do y'all ever go back and forth at times? Because I'm pretty sure I know with him, like he's probably telling guys, "Hey man, just shoot it, let it go." Like I know you can. Go. Do y'all ever go back and forth?
Yeah. Well, we have our moments, and because we're brothers, we'll be in the aisle, we'll be yelling at each other and stuff, and then it's all good after that.
That's the love part, though. You talk about
exactly. Yeah, we couldn't talk to each other like normal human beings. We gotta talk to each other like brothers. So. For
sure. Going into that preparation part, obviously, like you said, you've been here going on year 5. The things you do are the things you do, right? Like the one thing that pop up off, I'm not giving away too much information because it's already on film. We hedge on defense, right? Sure. We're really hard hedging on defense.
Oh, yeah.
In that preparation to get prepared for a season, talk about the balance of being a coach that, and I don't know which one you are, so you can get an answer in this. Being a coach that maybe mold things to the guys you have, or you're a coach that this is our philosophy, you got to buy into the philosophy. Which one do you kind of lean towards?
So I feel like when I left Evangel, and we guarded pretty good at Evangel, we had our things that we did. But I really liked the offensive part. I always knew if I coached, that's what I would do. But I didn't always know defensive what it would be. And when I got to Florida State is very, very, at least when Coach Hamilton was there, very defensive oriented. Now, we had longer, bigger athletes. We had some footers that could block shots. But the philosophy of what we did, I really liked, fronting the post and hard hedging on ball screens and blowing up handoffs and all that type of stuff. And I think that there's probably some things that you can't keep the same just because of maybe the personnel that you have. But the philosophy was kind of the same. And I would just take that, and I feel like recruiting is a tricky thing because you want to recruit guys that fit your system, right? You don't necessarily recruit these random guys at whatever. But the trick is you don't always get the guys you want. And so then you have to find other guys that you think fit but may not be the perfect fit, which is why maybe you didn't offer them in the first place, right? You got these handful, and then you got to be like, well, they kind of fit or they mostly fit, but right now we got nobody else because we lost these other 2 guys. And so you keep trying to find guys that are at least close to what you want. And then, then you take it. I don't like just hey, we'll just recruit whoever and then try to make it work because I think that's too hard, especially with the motion offense part. Defense probably a little easier. But I will. I mean, we'll make adjustments. We felt like we got certain positions that guys we got that are better in this or maybe not better in this. We'll do little tweaks, but generally speaking, we keep the philosophy about the same. I mean, we want to try to do that same thing over and over again. I feel like it helps us from year to year. You know, when you're doing the same things over again, yeah, you might have some tweaks in there depending on your personnel, but the guys that return know what they're getting into, and I feel like it just keeps going. Now, transfer portal makes it tough. You know, you could probably make more different decisions now, right? Change your philosophy up because you're hitting the portal, you're getting a whole new team, and you get this team, and you're like, shoot, we can't do that anymore. We got to do something different. But we've been kind of blessed here to keep those guys year after year, and so we've tried to keep those same philosophies.
So, and I want you to say names because I know you know the names of the Southwest Missouri players that he has this year in the roster. The guys, the recruits, say them. Go ahead.
I used to be able to say them all, but now I lost track. We got so many.
I start off. Clayton Garrison.
Yeah.
Cole, was it Grishmeyer? How's it say?
Grishmeyer.
Yeah.
Hillcrest.
Tommy Pinniger.
Greenwood.
Drew McMillan.
Republic.
Logan Sanders.
Greenwood, but went to Greenwood.
Yeah, went to Greenwood. Let's see who else I'm in. Oh, can't forget Harrison Denny.
Kickapoo.
This off the top too.
I didn't even recheck.
Clayton is Chadwick. All right.
Yeah, Clayton is Chadwick.
Caleb Wofford,
Nixa. AK Hillcrest.
Ooh, we doing pretty good here.
Yeah,
we got him.
That's probably at my limits, and I'm gonna feel bad now when they watch this. But who did I miss?
You put me on the spot now. I'm not sure.
Did I hit them all?
I'm pretty sure we got them all, and we got their high schools as well.
Because I got the freshmen that came in, the Logan.
Oh, we forget one. Jacob Lafferty.
Sparta. Oh, how did I forget the last?
Transfer from Division II school.
I forget Lafferty. Yeah, I think that's the last one.
You got a Raleigh kid. Does that count?
Oh, yes.
We count that. Raleigh. That's don't tell us his name. We know it. Hold on. It's Luke.
I don't know his last name.
Foster.
But I know.
Luke Foster. Yes. Okay, there it is. Luke Foster. Raleigh.
A lot of energy too.
Does he count?
Garrett, yes, he counts. Yeah, we counting Garrett. That's Norwood. We're counting Garrett as well.
Well, shoot, Dana.
We got them all off the top. Look at that.
We got a roster full of them.
Yeah,
man.
so man, tell us, how is that coaching all of this? Man, that's just a collection of just Southwest Missouri talent, and we're big on trying to big up our area in basketball. Talk to us.
Yeah. You think this is the most it's been since you've been here?
Yeah, that is a good question.
That is a good question.
It's right.
I don't know.
It's got to be close.
I mean, there was a 10-year period. I didn't really keep up with the roster like
that.
But
I guess in your tenure.
Yeah, for my
back.
team,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple reasons for that. First one, when I first got here, we were trying to turn the program a little bit, and it's hard to do that with freshmen. So we went out and got a bunch of transfers. Yep. Bryce Hunt at Coppin State, Brock Smith, he was at Drury. Trying to think, gosh, who else do we have? Anyway, we had about 3 or 4 of them that had come in, guys that were here in the program before, freshmen that we brought in. And so we tried to turn it around. And then since then, we feel like we kind of have it going in the right direction. And I'm okay bringing transfers because we got 3 of them this year with Tommy, who was at Missouri State.
Yes.
Drew was at SBU. And Jacob, that was at CSU Pueblo.
Yeah.
So we'll take transfers. But if you can get those guys in the program, get going, and a lot of those guys are getting overlooked because of the transfer portal. So we try to go out and get a couple freshmen that are pretty good. But there's I guess there's a couple things. One, I like recruiting guys I really know, especially at Evangel. It gets a little tricky because you want to make sure Evangel's a unique place with rules and Christian stuff, and that part's important. So you can't just go out and get anybody you want. So I like to know the guys that we're getting. But you want to be in the program and do it, and they're local guys, and so you want people want to follow the local guys, and I look first. If they got who we need in this area, let's go get them. People like watching them play.
Yep.
I get a chance to see them play a lot. I get to really know them, and then if we need a certain position or player that we feel like is not here, then we'll go out and get them. But there's been some pretty good players, like you said, in this area, and so we feel like we've gotten quite a bit of them so far.
Is that on the recruiting? Is that on your bulletin board to recruit this area well? Do you look at kind of because I know I'm from Houston, and so obviously our schools we want to recruit well in our backyard.
Yeah.
Do you kind of gauge that between the SBUs, most states, Michigan? Do you kind of try to be?
Yeah, we try in this area. We try to get to know everybody. See them, and it's hard because there's actually quite a few. When you start, we don't even have a lot of the big school players on our roster. We got a lot of small school
For sure.
Southwest guys.
Yeah.
And sometimes those are the hardest one to find because you don't always see them and you don't know about them and they're not right here in your backyard. You got to drive 45 minutes or an hour and a half. So we try to do our best to get to know everybody and then evaluate and see, hey, I went to a small school and Jackson did. We feel like we had good careers.
Yeah.
And so I am if there's a kid at a smaller school that's a good player, it does not scare me or bother me at all. You're like, well, he's small. I don't know if he can play at that level. Yeah, there's probably an adjustment period because he's not playing as good competitions, maybe some of the other big schools. Yeah. But if you can play, you can play. And eventually it comes out. And I think Garrett, Clayton, those type of guys, smaller schools, Cade Sutton, who's a bunker guy, East Missouri, who was a 1A player of the year. And it's like those guys can play. And as soon as they get here and they start adjusting and get used to the college game, and they're pretty good players. So.
Talk about something, too, because you say small school, right? And I agree with you. I think about Jake Lafferty. When he was at Sparta, he has my most viewed video on Instagram. It's like 400,000.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe you could help a parent out, talk about, and if you don't, it's fine. But, like, how do you gauge social media to be able, to kind of recruit as well?
Yeah, I mean, we look at social media, too. But we look at it as far as, it comes on a page, we'll see stuff. It's the guys that aren't in this area that sometimes you look more at the videos and the film because you can't see him every day. If I see a kid like Jake, who's naturally he's kind of a highlight person, the dunks and the way he jumps, and it's just how he plays. Does everybody like that? No. So everyone's got their style and their flair, but then we'll go see that kid in person. Highlight film makes a lot of guys look good.
Yeah.
And you get
it's
there
a highlight.
and you're like, yeah, that's why you get paid the big bucks, you know what I'm saying? Make them look good. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll go, but we want to see them. That's again why we try to recruit guys locally because I get to see them every day as opposed to watching the highlights that sometimes make people look better. But it's important to see those things,
And help these parents and videographers out here that sometimes don't get it. What are you not trying to see in a video?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What are you not trying to like? Because we creatures of habit, and I tell people, college coaches are creatures of habit. Just my guy, I know him well, right? But I never seen him swipe on social media. I'm sure you have swiped and seen a video and just kept going, right? So what are you not trying to see in the video?
That's a good question.
That is.
I'll say this: I think highlight videos are the best way to see a kid's potential. So, like, I'll get emails all the time. I'll get texts with a coach, hey, I got so-and-so, and I'd be like, hey, just send me his highlights. Why? There's a couple reasons. One, it's hard to watch an hour and a half game, on film, and you got his best one, and yeah, it's good, but I kind of want to see in a close amount of time what this kid can do. Is he athletic? Can he jump? Can he hit some shots? I know it's the highlights. I know he's going to make every shot in there. I know it's his best plays, but it gives me a chance to see if the kid is good because you can tell from the highlights if the kid has it or not. Sometimes they look better than maybe what they are. And then once I say, you know what, this kid looks like he can play a little bit, then, hey, give me the game film. Then let me watch a full game. Then let me go watch. Just because sometimes it's, as coach, especially during the season, you get busy with scouts and practice and you don't have time to watch a full game. But you do want to see the whole picture. You want to see, but it starts with, hey, the kid can play? And I like seeing that in a short amount of time. And that helps me know right away if the kid. So a little bit of everything, right? If the kid's athletic, you want to see him do some athletic things on the film. If he can shoot, I want to see him do some shooting things, the ball handling. You want to see as much as possible,
So we talking about in the first 10 seconds, you would rather see the first 10 seconds of like 4 highlight plays on the court versus 10 seconds of them just walking around like a music video.
100%.
Okay, thank
you. That's such a good question.
Thank you. Y'all heard it here from the college coach himself. All right. Stop making kids music videos and make them highlight basketball videos.
And I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes the music turned me off. That's for sure. They put that crazy music stuff on there. It'd be like, I know, right? Even if the kid's good and he puts some crazy stuff on there, I can't recruit him at Evangel. I mean, it kind of tells me the type of person he is, and it's just what it is. It's all the little stuff that there's so many kids out there, whether it's here or across the country, that you have to be smart. You have to do the right things. You got to play hard. You got to do all the little things because it's all close. Your grades have got to be good. I mean, if I got a kid, they're the exact same player on the court. One's got a 2-3 and one's got a 3-3. Why not take the kid with the 3-3? Just if they're the same player. Now, if they're really, really good, then you say, hey, we're going to have to really help this guy out with some tutoring, or something. But, those are special players that you don't want to put yourself in that situation.
I feel you for sure.
So, our question here for you. getting into a little bit of your career here. Here we go. So, your best moment so far as an Evangel coach, and then the next part of the question is your favorite game as an Evangel coach. See if it's the same.
I got the favorite game already, but
I think I may know the answer on one of these ones. I want to see.
No pressure.
Gosh, I don't know. I got to think about this.
Ooh.
What was the first question?
So first part, your favorite moment so far as an Evangel coach, and then the next part is your favorite game.
I feel like I'm going to say something, and then you're going to bring up like, oh yeah, no, that's what it is.
no. I'm not going to say mine because then it might influence you.
Yep. See.
I'll be honest though. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going. Yeah.
A favorite moment. I mean, there's been a few. One was making the national tournament for the first time, being here in a while. I was excited about that. I thought we played well. Just seeing those guys play. The Oklahoma Wesleyan win, or the last game in the Ashcroft, was a big win. Yeah. Helped us get to a tournament, and it was the last game. And I mean, you talk about. And we had just honored Coach Jenkins because they had just let him know about the floor, that they're going to name the floor after
I was there for that game. Yeah.
And I was a lot of pressure because I got all these people here came back to see Coach Jenkins.
And Oklahoma Wesleyan was legit too.
Oh, they were top 5 in the country.
They were 4 in the country at the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one.
I would say even the wins in the national tournament for the first time, even when we got to the Sweet 16, that was a big win down the stretch. Enrique hit 4 big free throws to help us win that game. I don't know. What were you going to say?
That's what I was going to say, the Oklahoma Wesleyan one.
Yeah.
Because I think
the last game.
Yeah, in the Ashcroft, because I think, like you said, it was just so much into that game. Like, it's last legit one in that Ashcroft, which Ashcroft, if you Evangel person, you know how much the Ashcroft, as
and Coach Jenkins got honored. I was like, man, I don't want to mess this up. I mean, everybody comes, everybody's happy,
all
and then
there
we
too.
lose, and everybody like, man.
Yeah, have you seen the locker room? It's a picture of
here.
as the buzzer goes up, and maybe it's okay if I can take a picture.
Sure.
It's a picture of the buzzer goes, and like everybody's excited. The students actually coming to storm the court of that in the locker room.
Last regular season game, because we didn't know we played tournament, but last regular season game in Ashcroft. So
I tell you mine, and that's so crazy. We all got different ones. So mine was, it was the first year you were there, and I know you remember this one. And I'm saying it because I know Cade Coffin, the senior in that team. I know we had some tough years with Cade and with like him like talking with me after the end of the seasons and talking with us like, man, like I really want to win. I want to like really put a stamp on the program, really lead our program in the right way. And I know that jury win your first year.
Oh yeah,
that one like, and just to see Cade play so good in that game too as well. Like that was a game that I look at. I'm like, all right, he's arrived. He's here. Like he can go in a hostile environment, win a big game against a higher ranked opponent as well in that aspect. And like that was one of the things where I was like, okay, like me watching it and looking in from it, like, okay, this dude, he's ready for it. Like he's built for it. It's like, and for you to see you go out there and do that, I was like, man. And I was just so proud of just seeing Cade, because Cade had worked his tail off all these years to try to be a legitimate program, and to see that happen, I was like, man, I was happy for both of y'all.
Well, that was our first year, and as a coach, you don't really know what you have yet, right? You're trying to work to the right thing. You think you got a chance, and then we, playing jury at jury and being able to beat them on the road, you felt like, hey, we might have something here. And I felt like that kind of was giving us the, hey, it doesn't mean that we've arrived just because we won, but we feel like we're moving in the right direction, and it certainly helped us moving forward.
Yeah, because jury and Evangel used to play each other back in the day, like home and away sometimes, right?
I never got a chance to play them. It was a class or two in front of me. But even then, it was like when they knew that jury's on the schedule, because we had gone away for a little bit, that everyone's like, man, I remember that rivalry. It used to be pretty crazy and fights and all this stuff. Probably why it went away for a little bit. But just played again. There was alumni that was glad we just got a chance to play again. And they were jealous because we got to play and they never did.
Wow, that's a good one, man. Yeah.
So that was, I guess, is that your favorite moment and favorite game? Is the Oklahoma Wesleyan? Because that was the second part of that question.
Moment may have just been making the Elite Eight.
Okay, moment.
I guess it's felt like you can have. There are a lot of coaches, really good coaches out there that never get a chance to win a championship or make it to a Final Four, and it's one of those things where we had a good group of guys at the right time playing well, and it's one of those things that you'll always remember. And there's no guarantee we'll ever get back. That's the crazy thing about sports. And so, at the moment, I enjoyed it. I felt like that it was well-deserving of those guys. They had a good year. And those are the guys when I first got here, the Josh Pritchett's, Bryce, what you're talking about, Jace, all those guys that had started from the beginning, Manrique, Steven, all them, where they were all seniors, most of them, and just had a chance to finish on top, and I thought they did.
Awesome.
So my last question that I have, and I'm not trying to put you and your brother against each other, but I just want to see what your answer. I think this is a good question here. So if you had to choose, would you rather be Evangel's leading scorer in history or win a national championship? You can only choose one. What would you choose?
National championship.
National championship.
A
winner, of course.
I always give him a hard time, so I'm like, hey, would you rather be the all-time leading scorer, or me and a teammate of mine, Grant Curtis, were all-time winningest percentage people here? And I said, which one would you rather do, win a championship? And he'd always be like, I'd rather be leading scorer. I'm like, well, I'd rather win a championship. And the debate continues. So ask him that question, see what he said. But
I got you, man. Anything else for a coach?
I mean, just shoot, Coach. I appreciate you for allowing me to be able to see these past 4 years going into 5th years. It's been fun being able to see it from a camera standpoint. I just appreciate you.
Well, when I always say you kind of were in this with us from the beginning because, we wanted to put Evangel on the map. We wanted to bring it back, and part of that is social media now. And obviously, I didn't have any connections being new here, and it's a God thing running into tow, I guess. And ever since the beginning, when he was starting to get his production stuff off the ground, he helped us out quite a bit, and now look how he's doing great. Both of you guys are doing great. Look at this.
I know, right? Full circle moment, right? Man, back seeing him in the gym, was recording Edger'll do dunks, do windmills, and go between the legs and see where it is now.
Yeah. And you got your podcast, and you're training people. You guys are doing a good job, man. So you guys are young, and we need guys like you to keep going. And you guys are part of the faces in Southwest Missouri basketball. So you just gotta keep it going.
Yeah. I guess before we head out, look at the camera and tell these people why they should come out and sit in this arena behind us and check out this team this year.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a good team this year for sure. Last year we felt like that we were missing a couple pieces, and this year we felt like we have them. Got a lot of Southwest Missouri guys on the team, like you guys said, so there'll be a lot of familiar faces out there people can come see. But we'll play hard. We'll get FG on defense. We'll try to run some good motion, and we'll see what happens this year. But I'm excited to get going. And October 27th, first game at home. So
let's do it. Well, there y'all have it. Coach Capel on the podcast, man. It's been a blessing having you. Thank you, Coach, for stopping by with us. Come check them out, man. It's a beautiful new arena. If you haven't been here, it's breathtaking when you walk in. Not the Ashcroft, make sure you come to the new one. They got AC in there. You want to be in this one. You want to be in AG. No, for sure. But definitely, good luck this year, Coach, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, you know it. Hard work, the only thing that works. God's work, not mine.